I'm an idiot and I don't know anything about politics. But but what I would say is, if I'm like in charge, what I would say to all these folks who are high up in the government is I would pay them a huge sum, like $2 or $3 million a year, right? Because there's only like 500. How many people are? I don't even know. This is how ignorant I am. How many people are in the Senate and Congress? I would pay them a ton of money and say, there, now you can't speak, you can't consult, and also all of your money has to be in this political ETF or whatever it's called. So we know every trade you're doing, and you can't actually buy individual stocks. It's kind of ridiculous that she's able to do this, right? It's actually her husband. Her husband's able to do it. It's their money, but it is kind of crazy.
Well, I think she can't. She's allowed to do it too. It's not only.
Well, her husband's a PE guy. I mean, he's like, this is his job, I would imagine.
All right, so let me just tell you this: the last big trade that I saw from her was in, I believe, 2022. So July 2022, Nancy Pelosi and her husband Paul, who's a VC, decided to buy 25,000 shares of Nvidia. They said, what's the best stock in the world right now since 2022? What is almost the most valuable company in the world right now? Nvidia. Oh, that's right. So they bought it at $165. It's currently trading at $800. Oh, that's pretty good. A little 4.8x for our girl Nancy. That's pretty impressive. Good trade.
Great trade. When I first moved to San Francisco, I told you the story how I lived in this warehouse. It was like a dirt cheap warehouse. It was horrible. It was an awful place to live. I lived with 4 other guys. One of the guys worked there at Nvidia when I lived in this warehouse. He worked at Nvidia, I believe, from 2009 to 2014. And I was doing the math. If he had $150,000 of equity given to him over 4 years, which seems reasonable, that's $30,000, $40,000 a year. If he didn't sell, his net worth would be something like $35 million. Is that insane or what? And he wasn't an early employee. He would have been employee. I don't know how big they were at the time, but it was thousands of people back then. Isn't that insane that someone could do that? Nvidia has been insane